We are this is the Olalla Cemetery, right? Old Olalla Cemetery. But basically the background is Dr. Linda Hazard in the early 1900s. She somehow got licensed in Washington State, but was not actually a doctor. And she believed that craving and wanting and hunger was bad for you and bad for your body. And so she always recommended that her patients, fast. And of course, while they were fasting and they became weak and delirious, she would then have them sign over all of their possessions and belongings to her. She would be the executor of their estate. And so she would steal everything they were worth, and they would die, and she would get away with it. Or at least she did for a long time. She possibly has over 40 victims, or patients that, for whatever reason, went to her for help with aches and pains or even cancer, and they ended up here. So
somebody's must have had a candle lit there.
Interesting.
Teens. Another thing I just read is that people don't recommend coming here because people do weird ritual stuff here all the time.
Well, that would explain the wax.
Yeah. You know, crawling around the Facebook groups, and I saw someone say that. They also said that they saw a bear here once. So there are a bunch of these like orange rebar stakes in the ground. And one of the rumors I heard is that those are the victims. I don't know if that's true or if that's just more urban legend.
Do you ascribe to the spirits hanging around in cemeteries after they die?
Yeah, it seems like, why would you hang out there?
Maybe the energy from cemeteries like attracts other entities.
Because everyone's grieving?
Yeah.
Wilderness Heights was what it was called, a sanitarium, and she was a fasting doctor. She put out a book about it, and she had her patients fast for days and months at a time. I think they only got like vegetable broth, like a cup a day, and that was it. It's absolutely terrible. But obviously local residents started referring to it as Starvation Heights because people kept starving to death. But Haglund was like a Norwegian woman who came to Linda Hazard with stomach cancer. So she may have died either way, but still she died from starving herself to death because that's what Linda said would heal her. And her son, who she left behind, was only 3 years old at the time in 1908 or 1910 when she died. And Ivor Haglund ended up being Ivor of Ivor's Fish and Chips, Ivor's Seafood, whatever, in Seattle, which is a pretty famous institution. So just kind of a weird connection of like local lore.
The last time I was here, I came with some kids, and one of the kids took money off the top of the stones that someone had left, and then later in the day they puked in the car.
Aha!
Don't take money off of a gravestone.
That's good advice in general. What should I make out of it?
Jeremy just found this piece of madrona in a wood pile.
Yeah, and it just called out to me. Maybe I'll carve it into something nice. Or maybe I'll just let it exist as it is. Or maybe I'll turn it into an iPhone stand.
There you go.
What are you gonna do? What's your plan?
I'm gonna improvise.
Okay. So he took some binoculars and added a hag stone to one side. You want to describe a hag stone?
Yeah, so according to tradition, it's a stone with a natural hole in it. And according to tradition, it can be used for a number of things, but one of the main ones I'm interested in is supposedly if you look through it, you can see into the quote-unquote other side. I'm not really seeing anything quite yet. And then when I looked over that way, I saw what I thought was like some sort of flash. I don't know what it was, but check it out. There's like
3 markers here.
4 markers
Oh, 4.
under here. And then under this one, there's like a seashell next to one, which seems kind of out of place to me. So I started scanning around using these in here, and it was just all white. I couldn't see anything.
Huh.
Like it was like, no matter how much I focused. Now it's all black, but
Are you gonna try to communicate?
That's what I was wondering if I should.
You gotta pick the right spot.
If you're here, we'd really love to hear you. We'd love to hear you speak. Are you here? If you are here, tell us a message. We will be happy to either share your message or tell people to stay away, whatever you prefer. We hope you're here and that you're happy.
She was eventually like convicted of manslaughter, but I think she only served like 2 years or something terrible. And eventually she died of her own treatment. She starved herself to death. So.
One way to find out.
Jeremy just comes on these trips to eat.
No, I'm not gonna eat.
Uh,
I forget what it is.
Not wild ginger. Sorry.